All right, we're looking at, again, what we did the last time. With you had a plus or a minus symbol in here. That means that you had to distribute one to each. And then if there was a plus, you distribute one to those. If there was a minus, you would change those. However, we do not have a plus or minus in here. That means that we're doing multiplication. So what does that mean? We have to multiply each one, this one to each one of those, then this one to each one of those. This is FOIL. If you were paying attention in 7th and 8th grade, you know how to do FOIL. This is 2 days of review on how to do FOIL. So I'm going to take that first term, this one right here, which I underlined. We're going to multiply it to this one and to that one. We're distributing. I know we're going to ignore this one for right now. So all I care about is this 7b times 2b and 7b times 5. That's all I'm worrying about right now. So 7 times 2, 14. How many b's do they have together? 1 b here, 1 b there, so how many b's? 2 b's. So we have to put a b squared. That's in multiplication. When we add, we don't do that. Now we take it, we're not worried about this part of it now. So 7 times 5. So we put plus 35. How many b's do they have together? There's 1 there, none there, so how many is that? Just 1. So we put 1b. Now we're going to take this negative 2 and we're going to multiply it by each one. So all we're going to worry about is here. So negative 2 times 2, negative 4. How many b's do they have together? What's that right there? 1b. And I hate b's because they turn into 6s. All right, now we're going to multiply it to the other one. So negative 2 times 5. Negative 10. Do they have any b's together? No. So this is the pattern when we have FOIL. You're going to have a b squared, a b, and an ob. Now, again, we just distributed. We distributed that one to each one. We distributed that one to each one. Now we have to do what? What's after distribute? Combine like terms. This is nice because your like terms are going to be right next to each other. Okay? Is there anything for 14b squared? No, so we're going to put 14b squared. However, 35 minus 4 is what? Or 35 plus negative 4, doesn't matter how you choose to do it. What do we get? Plus 31, you have to put a plus there. And they both have a b, so it has a b. When you add, you just add like terms and you leave it as it sits. When you multiply, you have to add the b's together. But here, we just leave it because they're like terms. This is exactly what we did last time, guys. But we had the 1 and then the 2. But there were a lot more terms, weren't there? Just was a little confusing. By the way, there's nothing, so you could have done this if you wanted to. It doesn't matter because these don't have anything. I just bring them down. So this is the answer. It becomes a quadratic. By the way, we've already gone from this to this backwards. We did this and split it up into this earlier this year. Remember? When we did this, we split this up, we multiplied these two together, then we did the factoring, and then we got this, and then we would set these to 0. That's what we did earlier this year. So, what are we going to do? We're going to do another example for you. We're going to take that very first one. That's 6x. We're going to multiply it by the first one on the other side, which is 5x. So 6 times 5, 30. How many x's do they have together? 2. So it's x squared. You have to add the x's when you multiply. Now we multiply this 6x to the other one. So 6 times negative 6, negative 36. How many x's do they have together? Just 1. we go to the bottom one. That's the same, almost the same color, so we'll change the color. We go to this one now. It's -2. -2 times 5. -10. How many x's they have together? 1. -2 times -6. Make sure you take the negatives. 12. Make sure you put plus 12 because it's positive 12. So I took the 6 times the 5x, the 6x times the 5x, the 6x times the -6. Then I took the -2 times the 5 and the -2 times the -6. Guys, this is called FOIL because you're taking the firsts, the outsides, the insides, and the lasts. That's why it's called FOIL. But don't worry about it. This one times each, this one times each. What's the next thing we got to do? What's after distribute? We're going to combine like terms. So guess which ones? These have x's. This one does not, and this one doesn't have any. This one doesn't have an x. This one has an x squared. Doesn't matter. So 30x squared because it doesn't have add anything. -36x plus -10x is what? -46x. Do not add x's because we're adding, so you just leave it. And there's nothing to add to the 12. Guys, these are going to get longer. You're going to have more in here. You'll have like a trinomial. So you're actually going to have to start putting things underneath. It's going to get crazy, but right now we're not worried about it. These are just review. You should know how to do this. Distribute, combine like terms. The only two terms are going to combine when you have these, a binomial to a binomial, are the two center ones. And you'll see that pattern as we go. So again, it's the first one. 3v times 4v, so 3 times 4. 12v what? How many do they have together? 2. Now it's 3v times 6, so 3 times 6. Plus 18, how many v's do they have together? 1. Now we take the next one. -8 times 4. -32, how many v's do they have together? What? 1. Couldn't tell if you said 1 or none. Now we take -8 times 6. Do they have any v's? No. We're going to combine like terms. Well, guess what? This one doesn't have anything, neither does that one, but these two do. So 12v squared because there's nothing, and then 18 plus -32, -14 what? V, and nothing goes to 48, and that's it. We went back to a quadratic. A binomial to a binomial, as long as they're not squared in here or cubed, if there's just a v and a v, will become a quadratic. Pretty easy, huh? Oh gosh, this is easy peasy. Once again, start with the first one, multiply it by each one of them. 5 times 5, 25. What is n and n? 2 n's. It's a pattern. Does everybody see that? 5 times -7. -35. How many n's do they have together? 1. Go to the next one. -5. Make sure you take the negative. -5 times 5. -25. How many do they have together? N's? Just 1. And then we're going to go -5 times -7. Make sure you take the negative with it. Just 35, right? Because a negative and a negative is positive. What are the only two that are like terms that we have there? The two middle ones, right? So the 25n squared, there's no like term for it. Negative 35 plus negative 25. Is that negative 60? Negative 60n. And then there's nothing for the 35. That's our answer. Distribute, combine like terms. These go quick if you catch the pattern. Okay? You guys at home, rewatch the video if you need to see it again. You guys here, if you need me to, I can go through an example 2 or more. All right, if you need any questions at home, give me a call, or give me an email. Bye.